I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state. And I'd take the 7,000 employees that work in that building and send them across America to chase down criminals. Go be cops. You're cops. Go be cops.
What you need to show is whether or not the FBI and government agents were using undercover operatives and informants on the day of January 6th, because if you can show that, you know they've been at... Hang on.
大家好，因为川普总统决意要让卡什·帕特尔成为联邦调查局的局长，这让整个深层政府十分的紧张，甚至是恐慌。川普总统选择卡什·帕特尔作为联邦调查局局长，这不仅仅是提名，而是势在必得。这是向深层政府公开地发出了挑战，发出了宣战。面对这样的局面，民主党的政客崩溃了，左媒崩溃了，甚至是很多名人也崩溃了。他们感觉到了政治寒冬就要来临了。我们先来看一看 CNN 昨天一档节目是怎么说的。
In choosing Kash Patel to lead the law enforcement agency, Trump picked a loyal firebrand who has vowed to take on the so-called deep state, which Patel claims is made of journalists, big tech, elected leaders, and senior government bureaucrats.
And our biggest enemy against that truth is the deep state. And we are on a mission to annihilate the deep state.
He's also shown a taste for retribution.
We will go out and find the conspirators, not just in government, but in the media. Yes, we're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens, who helped Joe Biden rig presidential elections. We're going to come after you. Whether it's criminally or civilly, we'll figure that out.
Patel defended Trump against the charges he faced in the now-dropped classified documents case.
They can take what they want. You can't be prosecuted for possessing classified documents.
And while he's claimed violent offenders from January 6th deserve punishment, he's defended others charged in relation to the riot at the U.S. Capitol.
Their lives have been destroyed by the Justice Department because of a political vendetta they want to enact through the justice system to take out Trump.
I am going to go on a government gangsters manhunt in Washington, D.C. for our great president. Who's coming with me?
Appointment of Kash Patel, or somehow he gets through the Senate. I mean, Republicans control 53 seats in the Senate right now, so who knows? Would there be any check on Patel? Would Attorney General Pam Bondi do anything?
I think we really are entering uncharted territory with respect to not only what Kash Patel would do atop the FBI, but also what would it look like in terms of, if there are people who, whether it's in the GSA, if he is insistent on closing down the Hoover building and creating it as a museum to the deep state, as he has said he's going to do.
你看看视频下面的留言，几乎一边倒的赞同卡什·帕特尔担任联邦调查局局长。我们来看几条。这条留言是这么说的：他是拜登给予他儿子全面赦免的原因。川普挑选的 FBI 局长卡森·帕特尔是谁？这对 CNN 来说简直就是噩梦。他是最腐败的联邦调查局最可怕的噩梦，现在就就职。这个他指的也是卡什·帕特尔。很好的选择， FBI 可以回去做真正的 FBI 的工作了，而不是像学校董事会会议上的骚扰家长。那所有的起因当然就是卡森·帕特尔上任后，调查解密事件呢会频频发生，一定会揭开一些爆炸性的内幕。这些正是深层政府最为害怕的噩梦了。他们不知道卡神会如何出牌，不知道卡神呢会揭开哪些内幕。有哪些人会受到牵连，所以他们都很紧张。但是我相信卡什·帕特尔很可能给深层政府呢带来的是烈火和硫磺。看看参议员克鲁兹是什么样的反应的。
Patel, suggested by President Trump as the new leader of the FBI. How enthusiastic are you about that?
Listen, I think Kash Patel is a very strong nominee. I think the entire slate of cabinet nominees President Trump has put forward is very strong. I believe every one of these cabinet nominees is going to be confirmed by the Senate. I think Kash Patel is going to be confirmed by the Senate. You look at his background. He has a serious professional background. He was a prosecutor. He was a public defender. He was a senior intelligence staffer on Capitol Hill. He was a senior intelligence staffer in the White House. He was the chief of staff of the Department of Defense. He was the deputy director of national intelligence. And I got to say, all of the weeping and gnashing of teeth, all of the people pulling their hair out are exactly the people who are dismayed about having a real reformer come into the FBI and clean out the corrupted partisans who sadly have burrowed into senior career positions at the FBI. The FBI and the Department of Justice are two institutions incredibly important to the rule of law in the United States. I revere both. And one of the most tragic consequences of 4 years of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is both DOJ and the FBI have been politicized and weaponized. And I think Kash Patel is a very strong nominee to take on the partisan corruption in the FBI.
As you know, Senator, there isn't a vacancy at the top of the FBI. What should become of Christopher Wray, appointed by President Trump?
Put him in jail.
Well, I think he'll make a choice. I think either he will resign or President Trump will fire him. But it's no secret to anybody, including Chris Wray, that he is not going to continue to serve as the head of the FBI under Donald Trump. Listen, if you look at James Comey and Chris Wray, there has never been a period in our nation's history where the FBI has suffered a greater loss of respect, where more Americans doubt the fundamental integrity of the FBI. And it's because James Comey and Chris Wray presided over allowing the FBI to become a partisan cudgel, to be used to target parents at school board meetings, to be used to target people who chose not to take the COVID vaccine, to be used to target President Trump and to target the political opponents of Joe Biden in the White House. It is tragic. That is not what the FBI is for. That is not what the DOJ is for. And I got to say, Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, I think together are a very strong slate of nominees to go and restore integrity to both institutions.
美国的政治现状呢就是这样的，很多事情呢已经压不住了。各种矛盾的焦点呢，已经到了无法掩盖的地步，已经盖不住了。卡神呢，不过是揭开盖子的那个人。没错，左派政客们呢，真的要系好安全带了，因为对于他们来说，寒冬真的来了。MSNBC 的前八卦专栏作家帕尔梅里，他对卡神帕特尔提名呢，发表了自己的评论。
44-year-old former public defender.Who put up a memo, saying that the FBA botched the Russia hoax. So it's like, you need credentials for this kind of job.
川普总统的律师麦克戴维斯向共和党的参议员们发出了严厉的警告，告诫他们应该背书给这个卡神帕特尔担任联邦调查局的局长。最近的保守派社交媒体的大 V 本尼·约翰逊采访了麦克戴维斯。看看他是怎么说的。
He doesn't get a pick, President. Your job as a senator is to vote to confirm President Trump's qualified cabinet picks along with other senior executive branch appointees. The president doesn't get to pick your Senate staff and you don't get to pick his, right? You need to make sure that these nominees are qualified. Kash Patel is clearly qualified. He has been a public defender, a national security prosecutor. He got awards from the Obama Justice Department for his national security prosecution. He was a top official in the House Intel Committee. He was a top official on the White House National Security Council. He was a top official in the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. He was the Chief of Staff in the Department of Defense. He is a competent loyalist who's going to go in to the FBI on behalf of President Trump, who got a mandate for change from the American people, all 7 swing states, 312 electoral votes, to bring serious reforms, bold reforms to the FBI. Kash is the man to do that. He is qualified. You need to vote to confirm all qualified executive branch top officials, including Kash, unless you can point to clear and convincing evidence that they're disqualified because of their personal misconduct.
共和党参议员汤米·图伯威尔在谈到卡神帕特尔时说
What I've seen since I've been here, there's been way too many things that have gone wrong with our FBI. There's a lot of good people in the FBI, but it needs to be overhauled, just like the military. And I think Kash Patel will be very good at it. I've known Kash for every year since I've been up here. I've had an opportunity to sit down with him and speak about a lot of different things, military, intelligence, DOD, all the things he's been involved in. But I think Kash Patel is going to be a really good director of the FBI.
那卡什呢，最近还接受了班农的一次采访，他表示他和其他人呢都会出去寻找阴谋者，不仅是在政府中，而且在媒体中，将追查那些在媒体上对美国公民撒谎的人，他们帮助乔拜登操纵了总统选举，可能指的就是2020年的大选。那么我们会追查他们，无论刑事的还是民事的，我们会弄清楚，我们会向你们所有的人发出警告。
And is a senior member of this administration, President Trump's administration, starting in the afternoon of the 20th of January of 2025. Do you feel confident that you will be able to deliver the goods, that we can have serious prosecutions and accountability? And I want the Morning Joe producers that watch us and all the producers that watch us, this is just not rhetoric. We're absolutely dead serious. We're not. You cannot have a constitutional republic and allow what these deep staters have done to the country. The deep state, the administrative state, the fourth branch of government never mentioned in the Constitution, is going to be taken apart brick by brick. And the people that did these evil deeds will be held accountable and prosecuted, criminal prosecutions. Kash, I know you're probably going to be head of the CIA, but do you believe that you can deliver the goods on this in a pretty short order the first couple of months so we can get rolling on prosecutions?
Yes, we got the bench for it, Bannon, and you know those guys. I'm not going to go out there and say their names right now so the radical left-wing media can terrorize them. But, excuse me, the one thing we learned in the Trump administration the first go-around is we got to put in all America patriots top to bottom. And we got them for law enforcement. We got them for intel collection. We got them for offensive operations. We got them for DOD, CIA, everywhere. And the one thing we will do that they never will do is we will follow the facts and the law. Our freedom of religion, our freedom of speech, our freedom of everything is at stake. And what Pelosi and these corrupt government gangsters want to do is rob you of the truth. That's been the message. There was no insurrection. They ginned it up. Pelosi was too busy filming her movie on January 6th in the halls of the Capitol. That's how scared she was of everyone. Right. And this is what the deep state does. They buried it. Nancy Pelosi on January 6th was recording a movie she, as speaker, was making. And in it, she said on video, I'm responsible for the security failures of January 6th. And the January 6th committee withheld that information for 3 years, as did she, and she lied about it. We've got the receipts from Bowser in the book, her own letter, where Mayor Bowser rejects Donald Trump's authorization of additional National Guard. And that's just January 6th. Yep. You got to remember, these guys, Christopher Wray, illegally surveilled Americans in the FISA court 274,000 times in 1 year. That's not my number. That's the FISA court's number. Hey, every one of you got one of these. Everybody's got one. And when the Justice Department surveils you, like I did as a national security prosecutor lawfully, they tap into your phone. They tap into your email. They go get your bank accounts. They get your shopping records. They get your credit card statements. They even sometimes look at your actual mail. That's total surveillance, and that's what the FISA court allows you to do. I used to use it to manhunt terrorists and people who wanted to do harm to the United States of America. Christopher Wray and these corrupt government gangsters use it to surveil their political opponents. Of those, here's the thing you might not know. Of those 274,000 illegally surveilled Americans by Chris Wray's FBI, do you know how many were working political campaigns? 40,000. No. 40,000 campaigners and donors. That's not my number. It's in the FISA court report.
可能大家会担心卡神这样毫无掩饰、直截了当地说出自己的意图，会不会引起各方面的阻力？会不会被任命？当然阻力很大了，包括共和党的建制派也会跳出来阻挠任命的，因为他们担心卡神在玩火，没有边界限制。实际上不是这样的，实际上这些政客最担心的是他们自己，担心他们在处理J6事件当中所作所为会曝光，因为这是产生很多问题的根源。那主流媒体说，川普总统上任后 会通过他任命的司法部长和联邦调查局的局长来追捕他们的政敌。实际上他们要追捕的是罪犯，深层政府内部滥用权力的人，追捕的是这波人。那么当然这波人一定是很紧张的。我们知道哈，拜登政府时期呢 ，FBI 已经政治化了，司法部也政治化了，针对的都是川普。FBI 基本上成了民主党的政治工具了，是吧？我们都看得出来，所有的这个阶段，从川普参加竞选以后，一直是这样子的。卡什·帕特尔要来了 ，FBI 的历史呢将要重新的改写。正如卡什说的，在他上任的第一天就关闭 FBI 的总部大楼，第二天在开门的时候呢，将成为联邦调查局的博物馆，对公共开放。参议员乔什·霍利今天在 X 上发帖说：“我向司法部和联邦调查局发出警告，不要销毁任何文件，不要删除任何文件。问责即将到来，司法委员会将进行调查，并找出是谁授权监督基督徒、袭击反堕胎者、报复川普总统的。”这是一个很严厉的警告了。看来民主党的政客和共和党这些犀牛都要系好安全带了，因为他们的纸牌屋就要倒塌了。最后我提出2个问题，一个是当卡什·帕特尔打开联邦调查局的秘密文件的时候，你觉得哪些名字会最先曝光？第二个是作为联邦调查局的局长卡什·帕特尔，第一个行动应该是什么？对这2个问题呢，你有什么看法？可以在下面留言，把你的愿望呢告诉大家。那今天的话题呢比较尖锐，有些话呢可能有些人不爱听，没关系，你可以反驳，我都接着。好了，这个话题就先聊到这里了。以后事态有什么进展，我会及时的分享给大家。谢谢大家收看，下期视频我们不见不散。